Are we live?
We're almost. And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, hello, hello. It's Lila Gonzalez.
It's Al Ingalls.
Hi, guys. We are on today. I hope you can hear us. If you can hear us, let us know. Give us some hearts. Give us some likes. Both of us are going to go on real quick and try to share this on our other pages. But as we do, maybe we should share, as we're sharing, I just like to tell everybody that I know you may be in a little bit of pain, you may be in a little bit of suffering right now because of what's going on around the world, whether it be the weather, whether it be people, Las Vegas, the South, Mexico, India, all over the world, there's challenges going on. So I just want to honor your pain. And today we want to get you moving. We want to get you stress-free, pressure-free. And hopefully if you do a little of these exercises, these practices, you will feel a little bit better about what's going on in the world.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. And I'm not sure how I can share from here.
So if you go to the Reinvented Woman page and see if you can just find the video and you'll see us live. Hi guys! And there's not anybody on yet because I'm on my business page, but on the timeline, here we go. Let's see what happens here if we get some people on. That'll be super fun. Okay. And
I wonder
then,
like I can't share it off of here. It's like I'm locked in.
Can you go to Facebook, honey?
Can't go to Facebook. I don't think I can leave off of here.
You can't open up a Facebook tab? Oh, we got a viewer. Hello, viewer. We're working on the internet. We're working on the sharing, all that kind of stuff. So if you can hear us, if you're seeing right now, will you just give us a like or heart to make sure you can hear us, okay? We had some volume yesterday problems. So, Elle, what are you seeing?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear us? Oh, there's nobody there. They left. They must have just peekabooed in. So you can't go to Facebook, honey?
I'm afraid to go off of here. I don't want to lose us.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, well, what do you think we should do?
Well, we can do this whole thing and then we can share it out on our pages.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, and then what if I were to try to share this on your page?
Yeah, see if you can share it on my page.
I'll see what happens. Cool. And if anybody, I see there's a watcher. If you're watching, will you give us a like or heart if you can hear us? We're trying this new Be Live, and we'd be super grateful if you could just let us know if you could hear us. It'd be super great, because then we can keep going and know.
Oops, you froze. You froze, Lila. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, that you can hear us. Yeah. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so let's just get started now. Sure. I think that basically, one of the challenges is that we want to be live, so it takes a lot of internet capacity. And so
yeah, we
just have to be really mindful of not using too much. I think in the future, closing down some of my browsers will be good too. Maybe get a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take it. I'm going to have to. Here we go. I'm just going to move back a little here. Go ahead and take your legs wide today. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit, and I'm not going to be able to hear you back, okay?
Okay.
Because of this, I just realized, so I'm still working on figuring out the volume and everything. But I'm just going to have to take this off and then talk to you for a little bit, and I'll watch you. If you have any, if you need something, just raise your hand. But we're going to walk through. I'm going to teach you how to dig, drag your feet. Before I take these off, I'll teach you a few things. So, hello, bow springers. Hello, Elle Ingalls. You're ready to get springy this morning. You're ready to bow and be fluid and open. So yesterday we started at the heart. First things first, we start with the heart, right? So we just go ahead and fill up. Feel your side ribs, just even touch them. And you feel your back ribs, you can touch them. And you'll just notice that the simple touch can actually help open you up a little bit, especially around the shoulder blades, between the shoulder blades, the back of your heart, back of your ribs. And you just touch a little bit, and then globe hands forward, elbows wide. Yeah, so that's the biggest. You'll notice they'll tend to be here. We'll try to keep our armpits nice and open. So your heart's nice and full. It's wide, it's back, it's front filled, and then down to your feet. So we're going to engage the fascial network. We're going to engage the network of connective tissue from the tips of your toes all the way up your legs into your hips and even up to what we call T12, the thoracic vertebrae. So the toes will engage the fascia all the way up the leg. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. It's called dig, drag. Remember yesterday how we had two positionings, or excuse me, two directions? I had you push your knees forward and your hips back at the same time. I had you take your hips down and your heart up at the same time.
Yep, yep.
So that's exactly in this practice. There's a lot of that in order to get your fascia, your connective tissue, even and tensegrity, and even tensegrity, integrity and tension, is we have to do two directions at once. So with the feet, we call it dig, drag. Okay, so here's what dig is. Dig is where you take the front of your foot, the top of your foot, and the energetic push is going to be forward and down. And what you'll notice, if you stand up straight, you push the top of your foot forward and down, what happens? Your knees bend and your hips go back. Your groins hollow. That's what we talk about, the hollows. We have a lot of hollow spaces that we don't take advantage of. So when you dig, so here, bend your knees a little, push the top of your foot energetically, your toes even, down and forward, your knees down and forward. And notice how your glutes go back and your groins hollow. Can you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the first direction, dig. So the whole front of your leg is actually energetically, the connective tissue is going down, and then drag is from the bottom of your foot, your heel is going to drag up the back of your leg and up to your glutes and rise them up. That part is often harder because the backside of our body isn't as lit up. It's not as alive, okay? So go ahead and just hover your right heel.
Okay.
Just so you have about 2/4 underneath, about 50 cents, okay? Dig, so push the top of your foot forward and down and feel your hip go back, your groin hollow. And then drag the heel up toward your calf, your hamstring, your glute. And then pulse a few times here. Push your femur bone down towards your hamstring. Yeah, and if anybody's watching on Facebook now, we can't see because we're doing this Be Live thing. So give us some hearts and likes and we'll talk to you later. We'll see your comments later. We're still working on figuring this out. Now pause, lower your right heel and switch sides. Left heel hovers, just so you have about 50 cents. Dig, top of your foot pushes down, knee pushes down and forward. Drag, heel pulls up towards your calf, hamstring, glute rises. Can you feel that?
It's
and then
strange.
pulse. It's strange. You're tapping into your connective tissue. You're tapping into the entire network up your leg, up into your glutes and your low back just by working your feet. How cool is that? Okay. So let's switch sides and back and forth. So you'll just kind of dig, drag each side, lifting. So you'll lift your left, wide, right, and then you start to kind of push your hip to the side. And what we call that, from your foot, when you dig, drag, push your hip to the side, parallel park. So imagine you're parallel parking your car, and your car is your hip. It goes back and wide, back and wide. And most people in the fitness world are not going to teach you to go wide. But when you go wide, you have more space in your body for your organs, for energy to move, for your blood, for all the fluid. It feels good. We don't actually want to be so compressed. We want to be more open. And then pause. And just release and stand normal and feel your legs and what's different.
I feel my glutes rising.
Oh, did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Glutes on the rise, glutes on the rise.
This has really been on my mind that, for so decades, I tilted my pelvis. I tilted it this way, thinking I wanted a straight back, and it messed me up so much. And so this idea of the glutes protecting the lower back, I think is phenomenal.
Yeah. I love you say that, Elle, because also if you think about it, if you see any magazines, you'll see the people are being told how to have flat abs. You'll notice if you have your tailbone tucked and your flat back, what happens to your abs? Flat abs. So you'll see beautiful, beautiful young women in pictures on Facebook or Instagram, and they're like sucking it in like this. Everything is like so tight here. It's no wonder they're in a bad mood.
They can't breathe.
No wonder they don't have their digestion isn't working well for them. It's no wonder that they have problems with their hips. Like, if we have to open this up. So I love that you brought that up. I really honor the fact that we've been told before to have a flat back, and now this new paradigm is asking you to do something totally different, and it's going to help the front part too. So even take your hand on your low back and your belly, and see if you can get your belly button to soften so your pubis goes down to the earth. So your pubic bone actually starts to go down, and that's how your groins get hollow. And then what we'll do is we'll move often just from the hips. So instead, see if you can move from your feet. And so you start to hover your heels up and down. And what that does, you'll see already, you notice if anybody's watching, that Elle moved forward. So what she's doing is she's already one step closer to where she wants to go, simply by keeping her heels hovered. And then ecstasy arms, just like yesterday, hands up by the tops of your ears, elbows forward, so that your shoulder blades can be nice and wide. If your elbows are wide, your shoulder blades close the back of your heart. So we'll go elbows forward, and then bend your knees, dig, drag right, which means dig, drag, so you'll push the top of your foot down and forward, drag your heel back so your glute lifts up. Keep that and lift your right foot up. So what you'll do is your foot will tend to want to go like this or like this with your toes. So you want to keep that same feeling as if your foot's just on the ground. So it'll be dig, drag, and your foot will still be digging and dragging in the air. Yeah. And then do a little bicycle. See if you can bicycle, dig, drag with both feet, even your standing. So you'll notice your glutes rise on both sides. Yeah. You'll see she's going to get a little wobbly. We want that. We want her to get a little wobbly because she's finding her center. Yeah. And then easy with your toes, then your mounds. Touch down, heel stays light, and switch sides. Dig, top of your foot goes forward and down. Drag, heel lifts up. Keep your foot digging and dragging. And pulse, little bicycles. Let your mouth open and even your belly and throat, just a little. See, take it to your edge. Even look to the sky, one more breath. Heart up, elbows forward. And then slowly touch down, heart stays lifted. Toes and mounts, switch sides. Dig, drag, lift up. 2 bicycles. Elbows forward. Touch down, switch sides. Nice, like a dance. Yeah! Look up, little smile with your collarbone, smile with your face. Slowly touch down, globe hands touch. Elbows wide and breathe.
It's a strange cardio workout.
Thank you for saying that. Brilliant. It is a cardio workout. Your heart's beating fast, isn't it? You're sweating. Yeah. Me too. So anybody who's out there is watching right now, you may think it doesn't look like we're doing a whole lot, but when you engage your entire fascial network, your entire body, it is a cardio. You can be just standing there and your heart is like boom, 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 boom. It's working because you're working the inside space. So Al, I'm going to teach you something because all my bowstring friends out there right now are going to notice it if I don't teach you. So yesterday we did globe hands, but I didn't actually teach you globe hands perfectly.
Okay.
So you see that thumb, that rogue thumb?
Yeah.
Let's take that first knuckle, because I do the same. So let's do the first knuckle and bend it this way. Now you see the knuckle here?
Yeah.
How it wants to pop up? That's text knuckle. That's a computer knuckle, mouse knuckle. Anybody who's on a computer, you'll see this will pop up, especially on the right hand if you're right-handed, left hand if you're left-handed. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that knuckle in particular is down. So it ends up being a little bit more like an elliptical shape. See, instead of the fingers going. Yeah, that's beautiful, right? Like that.
I can do it with this one, but this is actually a bow hand knuckle as a violinist.
Yep. She's a violinist.
I can't.
So I love what you just did. Go ahead and bend the knuckle. You see how it'll want to go this way? It might take you 5 years for this to change.
Yeah.
It's been, a long time, but you're doing it. So what I noticed you did, Els, you went like this, and that's really nice. And so let's go ahead and take seed hands now. So this is globe. This is actually a little harder. Seed hands lets the thumb rest. Index finger. Then you touch your thumb to your index finger knuckle. And you keep the hollow in your hand here. So it's not this, but it's that. And your smiley face here isn't open. It's a closed smiley face. Okay? So take
like
now
this?
Like that. Beautiful. Let me see, put it down just a little bit so I can see that first knuckle. Yep, like that. And then we're going to engage up your arm. So keep that seed hand and then hollow your wrist, or hollow your hand and hollow your wrist. Hollow your elbow. So it's a weird feeling, right? Energetically, it's like you got to suction cup the hand, the wrist, the elbow, and then even the armpit. Suction cup it up and wide. And do you notice how the back of your heart will, the back of your ribs, the back of your muscles on your back will start to engage?
Yep.
Okay. Now keep there's one seed hand. Take that arm wide now. Push it forward and wide, so not so much back, but forward. Yeah. Now hollow your hand, your wrist, your elbow, your armpit. Ecstasy arm with the other. And then hover your heels and come down and take off. Can you feel the engagement of your arm?
Yeah.
It's sort of like dig drag with the feet. You're engaging the entire fascial network up your arm to get into your heart. Okay, let's switch sides now. Ecstasy arm. Seed hand, fingers roll in, thumb touches index finger knuckle. Hollow your hand, hollow your wrist, hollow your elbow and your armpit. And then push it nice and wide forward. Little flap with the wings so you feel all the way up into your heart, your chest. Hover your heels in little pulses. And you're just opening up. You can kind of feel it. Even your other arm can flap forward a little. And you'll feel the backside open. Can you feel that on the back? Push your arms forward just a little more and your ribs back just a little more. So it's that same kind of forward push-pull, yeah?
Yeah.
Imagine your chest going forward and your back going back at the same time. And then pause. Seed hands touch now. So you'll touch at your index finger knuckle.
Okay.
Elbows low. And did you feel that in your heart space, your cardio again?
Yeah, I felt, yep, and I also felt a lot around my shoulder blades. Beautiful. And like the opposite one of the arm I was doing.
Oh, I love that you said that. So what you're feeling is if you're pushing this way, she's saying she can feel over here.
Yeah.
And so you can even push, yeah. And so that's beautiful because it's showing you how connected you are. Like your right fingers are connected to your left shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? So let's do a little bit more with the legs.
Okay.
Come wide leg, just like yesterday. And touch your dome hand. So dome is basically just like you would be in a globe, but separated. Dome hands on tops of your knees.
Okay.
Push your ribs up and your hips down. Yeah, ribs up, hips down. A couple more, just like that, just to feel your belly even soften, your throat open. And you get to that place where you realize you're mostly water as you pulse. Mostly water. Your bones float. Your connective tissue is actually what keeps you up. The bones float. Pause with your hips low, pubis down. Hover your right heel. Turn your right knee in. Yeah, so your heel's hovered, your right knee's turned in. Yeah?
Got it.
Okay. Now look to the left. Now push your right hip back and wide. Dig, drag. Top of your foot pushes down, knee pushes forward, and then drag, heel pulls back, glute rises up. Keep that full engagement, dig, drag, toes down, and pulse just a few times. So you get the feeling of full engagement, dig, drag, and then you pulse it to open it up even more. See if you can pulse your hips just a little lower and your heart just a little higher. And then pause, hips low, and just take your knee in and out a little bit. So what you're doing here is you're having your femur bone in your hip go side to side, opening up your hip. See if you can push your femur bone down to your hamstring. Push it. That's different, huh?
Yeah. Like grinding something into the ground. Is that the feeling?
Yeah, that's your connective tissue. It's beautiful, beautiful awareness. So what do you feel? It's kind of like sticky and it's like crystalline and it's opening up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the connective tissue. So everybody, we all have like these places in our body between the shoulder blades, on the hips, right, all the joint areas. They get like really crystalline. And what we're doing is we're breaking that up and we're helping the connective tissue release and open up. So just as a reminder, if you are doing this at home or LU2, to drink water and take really good care of yourself because your body's releasing things as you open, okay? And also one more thing to remind you is your nervous system runs through your fascia. Your nervous system runs through your connective tissue, so you may feel emotional. You may feel sad, happy, angry. You may have a memory that came up from a decade ago, 20, 30, 40 years ago, and you don't even know why. And it's because it's in your body and you're releasing it. Okay? So let's do the other side. Dome hands touch. Left knee lifts, or left heel lifts, excuse me. So you're just hovering your left heel. Turn your left knee in. Good. And then dig. Top of your foot goes forward and down, toes press down. Drag, heel pulls up towards your calf, hamstring, glute rises, and then little pulses. Yeah, you want it to pulse, right? Once it gets engaged, it's like, you're just ready. You like want to move. So that's how you know you're engaged. You're in the bowspring. It's like that feeling of like, whoa, I'm ready to go. And so you're just learning how to be in that all the time. How cool.
Very cool.
Now let's do a little pause, dig, top of the foot forward and down, heel pulls back, glute rises. Press your femur bone down to the hamstring. And then side to side, opening up. Yeah, you see she looked away. That's exactly, we want you to look away. And that gives you more space in your side. Notice if you were looking down towards your foot, your side would be short. So if you look away, it's nice and open. And then come back to center. Seed hands touch. Nice and easy. Walk in. Toes mounts. And then we're going to do a little bit of what we call walking kata. Okay? How do you feel?
Good.
Good. Okay. Let's keep our elbows wide, armpits open, heart full on all sides. And then keep your hips a little lower to the earth and walk toes and mounds. Keep your heels hovering. So you'll walk with your heels just hovering to start, back and forth, just to feel how it feels a little bit wobbly. Keep the back of your heart, back rib cage lifted, and see if you get more steady. Yeah. Did you notice a difference when you brought your awareness here to the back heart and lifted up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then pause. Now, as you walk backwards, see if you can lead with your base glute. So right where your hamstrings and your glutes meet. And how do you do that? Dig, drag. So you'll dig, drag your heel back. Glute leads. And even as you walk forward, push your glutes back. So what's going on? Let's share with the audience.
I don't even know how to describe it, Lila. I think what I said yesterday, and of course the sound wasn't so good yesterday, but this idea of grounding and lifting. Grounding and lifting. And I feel as though we spend most of our lives doing one or the other, but not both at the same time. And both at the same time allows us to be springy, allows us to be thoroughly alive. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, honey. Absolutely. I love hearing that. It takes a lot of our mind to, it's fascinating because it takes our full presence, really. It doesn't, not a lot of your mind in terms of the chitter chatter mind, right? It actually takes us a lot of our presence. We have to be full. Like, are you able to think about anything when you're digging and dragging besides your body?
No, actually, no.
That's why it's such a beautiful practice for anybody who's stressed, has anxiety, needs to be in their body more. It's just, you can't help it. You have to be fully present to be in this practice. So what a beautiful, you did a meditation with for Bruce this morning, Bruce McClellan, and that's all about mindfulness. And this is just another level. There's mindful meditation, there's mindful living, mindful movement. And so we're just adding in another layer of mindfulness into our life, hopefully that we can bring more springiness, more radiance to the world. Okay, so we're going to do one more thing.
Okay.
We're going to do some, since you feel springy, we're going to do some hops.
I've got to watch our time too, because I have a 9 o'clock. So.
Okay, it's 43, so we'll do 2 more minutes and then we'll sit down and chat. Sound good?
Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to do, since you feel springy, we're going to do some hops. Okay? So the idea with your hops, you'll hop forward just a couple times. See if you can land on your toes, the mounds, and then hop back, but lead with your glutes. And now we're going to do it again, but this time we're going to think about the ribs staying lifted up the whole time. So you go forward, ribs stay lifted, glutes stay back, ribs lift. Yeah, good job. And then glutes lead, ribs back, ribs up, glutes back, ribs up, excuse me. So what was different from the first to the second?
The lift. So the lift, you get lighter. And I have to be careful about my hurt foot, so I'm being a little careful there.
Okay, that's a good reminder. Thank you. So if anybody out there has a hurt foot too, be careful. One way you can do, it's really cool. I love this is good. So you can even do real soft. This will be good for your foot actually. You just do soft, like side to sides. Really soft, almost like your foot is kissing the earth. And you'll notice you have your hips back behind your ribs, so it's a little bit like a hop. You're going to hop forward, but it's not too much. It's just really soft. And this tends to be harder if our knees are straight and hips are high. So it's easier when you're down low.
It's like skating.
It's like roller skating, totally, or rollerblading. What do they do now? Roller skating now still? I don't know. There's a roller skating place near me that I've always wanted to go to. I haven't been yet, so I'm excited. It is like roller skating. It's that sense of fluidity of movement. So how do you feel about dig drag, Elle? Do you feel like you've learned something new about
I have learned something new. You have definitely explained it to me in a much better way than I understood before. So that was very cool.
Yay! So it just like as you're sitting on your computer today working, remember that you can dig drag, even as you're sitting. You can have your heels a little hovered.
I do now, yeah.
and your glutes, can rise up. You'll just notice all day long, you'll have to lift your glutes up. They'll kind of tuck under and you'll be sitting on them. And then you have to go back and grab them, lift them up, come back down. So I'm going to get on the Facebook and see. And then if you want to chat today about, is there anything particular you want to share? I'd love to hear more about pressure free.
We want to take you to the next level with pressure free. So,
thank you. Yay.
And I know last time people couldn't hear us talking. So I want to make sure that I want to talk about your targets today, Lila, like what you are aiming for, what emotionally you're aiming for. So who is it that you want to be emotionally? Like what components do you want to have? When we're really clear about targets, whether those are body targets, career targets, business targets, relationship targets, and then just emotional. I'll give an example. I had a young woman who was in chronic anxiety and basically said, I just want to feel happy again. I just want to feel happy again. So it can be as simple as just wanting to move to a certain emotion from where you are now. So share with me just one or two of what you would consider your targets.
My target emotion?
Target anything. Where you want to move to. So anything that you feel you need to shift.
Okay. This feels vulnerable.
It is. And you can share
a
not quite so vulnerable one if you want, but just as an example.
There's a sense of what I woke up with this morning, this sense of desire for more surrender and trust. I give my best every day, and I would like to surrender more. And I guess it's really, I've never thought of myself much of a control freak or anything, but I think there is some control issues there with like thinking that I can make things happen. And instead of just doing the work and allowing for things to happen. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'd like a little more surrender, a little more trust that, as long as I give my best every day, everything will work out.
That's a really beautiful way to think about it. Like sometimes we try too hard, we muscle it. And that's
my tendency, girl.
When we force, we usually get an opposite force coming back at us. Resistance. People will fight us back. Like if we're too forceful, we get the fight back. And so I love to tell people that with pressure free, we're playing. We are playing here because you see where you want to go. You see where you want to make a shift. Like you want to have more surrender. That's where you're moving. But if we try too hard to have more surrender, it doesn't happen. And trying also is a real cop-out. I was coaching a large group the other day, and I looked at a woman. She's probably in her late 70s, and I pretended she was having a party coming up. I said, well, I'll try to be there. Then I looked at the group, and I said, how many of you think that I'll actually go? Trying is a cop-out.
Trying is a cop-out.
It is. I'm going to try to do that today. How many times do we say that? I'm going to try to do that today. And then do we actually do it? But it's a high percentage that we're not going to because we've given ourselves an out. So I like to use the word play with pressure free, that you're playing with these concepts, with these ideas, with these tools to see which ones work for you. And the ones that work for me are going to be totally different than the ones that work for you, Lila. Totally different for anyone watching here. We're all so uniquely built. So if you read, like I do tons of research on the fight or flight stress response. That is my expertise. I go deep, deep on it. But if you read like a college textbook about it or even a magazine article, it's amazing how it is not what I have found in my practice. So for example, I'm going to take the gut because we did a lot of work with the hips today and moving the way you had me open the hip and everything. And so a lot of people feel great tension here. And this is their first spot where they don't feel good when they're stressed. So some people feel that like whoosh dread feeling. And some people just get very nauseous. Some people binge eat or self-medicate, right?
Yeah, totally. I've done all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other people can't eat it all. And it's situational. One time when you trigger the stress hormones, it's like, I can't eat anything. Another time it's like, give me some chocolate.
I've been at both of those. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
situational, it's personality. There's so many factors for you. And so that's why I come back to this idea of playing. We're playing. We're going to see which tools work for you in which situations, and they're all going to be different. So in my book, I actually have the second session, the second chapter has a whole sheet on mapping out your triggers. So we have our target, and then we're going to see, okay, what triggers are preventing you from moving toward more surrender?
Okay.
So a trigger could be the thought of, oh crap, I'm so far behind.
Uh-huh.
It's just a
Yeah.
thought. A trigger can simply be a thought you plant in your head.
Yeah.
Or you saw somebody else doing something, and like I get on here with you and I'm so vulnerable because I look at your body and I'm like, oh my gosh, I look like a fat cow. I look like somebody else.
I saw your comment yesterday. I was like, oh, honey, you look amazing. I mean, the thing is like we all start somewhere. It's the same thing with me being vulnerable. I shared with you this. I mean, we can use the example I shared with you this morning if that's okay, about
Yes.
my trigger, right? So Elle is, she's got this beautiful website. She knows how to use Infusionsoft. She's doing Facebook ads. And like, this is stuff that I feel very insecure about in my own business because I'm trying to, and more and more and more, oh, I just used the word trying, cancel, clear, delete. Oh. Thank you. Thank you.
It's perfect.
Okay. So
We
you know what
couldn't
my
have
trigger is.
scripted. We
It's
couldn't have
technology.
scripted it.
Yeah. So I need some work here on this trying technology thing because what I'm doing is I'm giving myself an out, aren't I?
You are.
I'm giving myself an
Yeah,
out and I don't even know it.
that's right.
Mm.
Isn't it interesting? So how do we stop doing that? But go on because you're telling your right. So it's
Yeah,
comparison.
basically, I feel insecure. I feel like jealous a little bit. You know, I'll just be honest. As I told Elle this a little bit earlier. I said, you know, you're doing all this stuff with your Infusionsoft and the technology stuff, and I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I feel, honestly, my biggest. I'll tell you what my biggest trigger is if I look stupid or feel stupid.
How many other people feel that way? You know, if you're going to look stupid or feel stupid, you know, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough. I mean, this is such a trigger for most of us. And there's the looks. With women especially, we add the look piece.
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
not thin enough, I'm not pretty enough, my hair is dry and old. My we go on
Yeah,
and on and on.
yeah. The gray, the silver highlights, all that.
We go on and on and on. And so I think that I truly think that when you and I talk about collaborative community and freeing, we need to free ourselves and we need to free everyone else. And that's what pressure free is about. It's like accepting your authentic self, accepting who you are, and making these little tweaks gently, not by trying, but actually playing. So we move to where we really want to go. And
I love that. I
just
love
change
it. It feels so good.
It does. And you know, when I talk about trajectory, so the trajectory of anything that you're doing, so you're learning this tech. So we're either going this way or we're going this way. We never stay the same.
Right.
So it's like, okay, if you make this little tiny bit of progress, it builds a little bit of momentum, a little bit of momentum, a little bit, and then suddenly you've got that exponential growth. So it's little tweaks over time. And really it's like 30 days, 100 days of the little tweaks, the little tweaks, the little tweaks. And then the same thing, if you're making the tweaks the other way. For example, if you have trouble with adding pounds onto your body and you keep making those little tweaks the other way, then the trajectory is going this way. You're never staying the same. It's like
So
either
true. I
this
love
way,
that.
this way. And so part of this idea of targets for you, Lila, and for everyone watching is, what are you aiming for? Are you aiming to gain weight? Are you aiming to have a better, healthier body? Are you aiming to fail in your business? Or are you making little tiny tweaks so that you can make some sort of progress? Some sort of
I want
progress.
to reach more people, Elle. I want to help more people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really,
And
that's what it is. It's the trigger. It's like, it's the story is if I knew how to do this, I could help more people.
oh, right, right. So if we switch that around and simply ask the empowering question, how can I help more people? I mean, we just doing this yesterday with the crazy messed up sound and everything, we touched more people than you and I did individually, ever.
Thank you for saying that. You're so right.
It was
Thank
like,
you. Yeah.
boom, there we go. Boom,
How
there
can
we
I?
go. Yep. And so how we make these little tiny shifts, and I love to be your own best friend, be really gentle with yourself, because you will beat yourself up if you don't see huge progress right away, because we're in instant society. We want it right now. That's why I get so frustrated with tech. Tech is a huge trigger for me.
Yeah. And being a high achiever too, it's like that sense of I'm smart enough. I should be able to figure this out. You know?
Yes. Yeah. What's
I had
wrong
that
with
story. Like, I'm smart enough and I work hard enough. I should be able to figure this out. And when I can't, you know, so that's definitely a trigger. And I recognize it. So I really appreciate, you know, the word play. I'm going to replace trying with playing.
Yeah. Play is beautiful. It's really beautiful. It's light. It's enlightening.
Do you know Lila
And
means play?
yeah, it's fun.
You
It's
know
fun.
Lila means divine play in
Oh, that's right.
Sanskrit? That's
That's right.
what, yeah. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to try. I feel like you're speaking what I'm supposed to hear.
Yes. Yeah. It's so hard to take the word try out. It's like, okay, I'm not going to try to play. I am playing here. I'm playing here.
I love it. I love it. Elle, do you want? We've got about 3 minutes till your call comes up. So do you want to share what you've got going on with everybody before I want to be
Sure.
mindful of your time.
Sure, absolutely. First of all, I just want to invite anyone coming on here to have a private strategy session with me. Just let's talk, let's chat, let's learn. I'd like to learn about you. And then I can share with you everything that I have. I have online courses, audio courses, ebooks, and my private coaching. I have so many different ways you can learn the pressure-free method. And so the best way is for us to talk so I can match up a way that meets you, meets your budget, meets you where you are. So go to my website, it's pressure-free.com, and you'll see a little link that goes right to my online calendar. And really, that's the best way to get started. I have some group programs going on. I can share all that with you, and we can find the thing that works for you. How about you, Lila? What's going on with
amazing. Well, I am same thing. I want to talk to people. I love what you said at the strategy session. You know, I really would like to connect. I mean, you can visit my website. You can see what retreat I'm hosting, all that. But let's chat. Let's connect. Let's have a video chat, a phone chat, or maybe even if you're here in Colorado, we can have a coffee chat. And I will say, if you're in Florida, Elle and I are both going to be in Florida pretty soon, so maybe we can even connect in Florida if you're down in Florida.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
We're both going to be in October together in Florida and together in November here. And I'd like to say too, I'm going to be starting up a group teaching the bowspring, teaching the 10 key areas of the body, teaching you how to have curvy, open, dynamic posture. So for anybody who's interested, who really wants to step up your movement practice, I'm getting a group together, and we're gonna do weekly classes together. So it's gonna be super duper fun. It's gonna be super duper opening. And Elle, you know, you've already been doing this for about a little over a month, and you've seen massive transformations just already. So it's gonna be fun watching your transformation and working with others too in there. So reach out to us all if you need anything. And Elle, is there anything else? I know I want to be really mindful of your time here.
No, I think that's wonderful. And I'm really excited to be with you in October and then again in November at your retreat. The bowspring is literally changing my life. Pressure-free and bowspring together is probably, I can't imagine anything more powerful to help you truly transform out of negativity, out of the negative things health-wise in your body, out of the negative things health-wise in your mind. Both of us, what we do are mind-body. And when you combine pressure-free and bowspring, I just can't believe what's happening to me. I mean, I already thought with 7 years of pressure-free that I was like, great. And now I just can't believe what's happening. It's just deepening. It's amazing. And so I'm super.
I feel the same about pressure free and the bowspring. I mean, I've been doing bowspring and I thought, yeah, I've got my mind together. And now the fact that I can recognize my triggers.
Yes.
Whoa. It's a whole nother level of awareness. Like, I'm going to be a more peaceful, happy person.
And I'll tell you, it takes being really honest with yourself to admit some of these triggers. It's not easy work sometimes. I mean, that's why I've built my programs for people, because you need to dig deep. Just like we're digging and dragging.
Dig, drag into your mind and heart and
digging
body.
and dragging, like, really working our muscles in the connective tissue in such an amazing way. And it's the same thing with pressure free. You have triggers that you're stuck in. So,
your call's here. I love you, Dave. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
See everybody there tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. Good morning, Clint. How are you? Good.
I'm wondering if you have the car, what is a little bit?
Today,
Do you drive them back?